Hey moms and dads, welcome to Camp Vertical week number 6. It's been a hot and rainy summer, and we're looking forward to a week full of great weather and awesome fun with your kids. This video is created to help you have a couple of things to step into the week with. First, some tips on how to make this week a great week for your kids. And second, to really help you understand what we're talking about in our large groups and our small group teaching areas. And so I want to start with some of the tips for helping your kid have a great week. First, when they come for check-in the morning, would you walk them to the check-in area, make sure they get checked in the right box, and then that they get their lunch taken care of so that their day is off to a good start, and then you can leave to do what you have to do. The second thing, we do a lot of running and walking and moving around this huge campus we call Elmbrook, and your kids' feet might start to hurt if they don't have the proper shoes. And sneakers or a shoe with a back is really helpful for them, and their legs won't hurt and their feet won't hurt as much at the end of the day. Also, with all the heat, I want to encourage you to send a water bottle, a refillable water bottle with your child. We have plenty of water and lemonade out all over the campus, but if they have water with them, they can get a drink whenever they're thirsty, and that's a really good thing. The second thing, we talk every day in the large group setting about the things of God that we find in the Bible. And this week our series is called Signs. And we go down roads and we see road signs like stop and yield and one way and traffic circle, and they help us get where we want to go. They help us know the way to go, and they give us a clear vision of what's right and good. And God gives us a lot of signs also. And so we're going to look in the Bible at some of the places where those signs were extremely obvious, and the stories are really cool. On Monday, we're going to talk about a stop sign and how God spoke to Paul verbally on the road to Damascus and said, Paul, stop doing this, start going this way, and how Paul's life changed a lot about how we live today through his writings in the New Testament. The second day, we're going to look at the concept of detours. And we're going to look at the story of Joseph. And Joseph had it all when he was a kid. He was his dad's favorite. They were a wealthy family. And suddenly a whole lot of things happened that Joseph was like, I really don't understand this. If I'm going to get to where I think I'm supposed to be, why is God moving me this direction? And sometimes I know kids have a vision of what they would like life to be. And sometimes you as parents have that also. And we end up in places where there are detours that take us places that we didn't think we were going to ever be, and we don't know what to do once we're in them. And so we're going to talk about how God stays with us and how he leads us to his best for us, sometimes through the detours we weren't expecting. Third day, we're going to talk about the one-way sign. I don't know if you've ever been in downtown Waukesha, but there's a lot of one-way signs. And if you start going the wrong way on a one-way street, you can get yourself into a really big pickle really fast. And we're going to talk about a guy named Naaman who had a disease that was ravaging his body, and the prophet Elisha said, here's the one way that you can be clean. And Naaman said, I don't want to do that, and he went the wrong way. And it got him into trouble. And finally, when he did what God had said through his prophet, things became better. And we're going to talk about how there is one way that we can connect with God again, and that's talking about what Jesus did for us on the cross. On Thursday, we're going to talk about a yield sign. And I don't know about you, but I have kids, and they don't want to yield to me very often. In fact, anytime I say something or ask them to do something, there seems to be a unyielding opinion that comes out of my daughter especially. And yet we're going to talk about how yielding actually gets us to the places that God wants us to be, that helps us find his best for our lives, and really how we can look at those things. And the story that we're going to talk about is Moses in the water from the rock, where when he did what God said, all of the people of Israel were blessed, and so was he. And when he did it his own way and he was unyielding, that's when things got into a crazy place. And the last day, we're going to talk about traffic circles. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot of traffic circles ending up around our area, and sometimes they're very confusing. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's a lot of times that we get into cycles in our life where we keep going around and around and around, struggling with the same things. And we're going to talk about the children of Israel in the book of Judges and how they would go through these cycles, and how God finally said, hey, I want you to get out of that cycle and move towards my best for you. We're going to use road signs, common everyday things, to teach some lessons about God. And I hope that you'll not just know that, but that you'll continue some of these conversations at home. And even when you see a sign along the road, maybe asking them what they learned about that sign. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me directly, bswanson@elmbrook.org, or email the Camp Vertical office at campvertical@elmbrook.org. We can't wait for next week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning.